we are seeing a downtick in fentanyl users. I'm seeing more alcoholics enter treatment again. You know, a lot of Adderall, some benzos. I think fentanyl addicts coming into treatment is going down because there is no pill gateway anymore. Everybody that got into it is either dead now, and like I just feel like there's less chance that someone that's never done an opiate in their life is going to like jump, oh, let's do this fentanyl. You know, let's just start off with the absolute strongest thing that there is and hope we don't die.
I think there was a brief moment of that when noticing like a bunch of young kids, like kids my age, when I was doing like a Percocet was a big deal for me. Kids like that age, they're doing fentanyl coming in, and they got in high school at like a good high school, you know what I mean? Like very suburban, for me, like there was a training, it was very small progression, slow progression in terms of like, Vicodin and Percocet, and then you know what I mean, like then oxys, you know what I mean. Like I believe there was a brief period where it was just like everyone's pretty much. I think everyone's first drug is weed. You know, generally, it was like weed then fentanyl. There was a small where I do think it was that.
Yeah,
but now it is like kind of what you're saying. I feel from what I've seen.
Well, I think a lot of people too. And that'd be interesting to do a poll. Not that we would ever do it, but if somebody did, like if you're admittedly a fentanyl addict today, to your best recollection, how did you even get into fentanyl? Was it knowingly or was it unknowingly?
Yeah.
And then somebody told you, oh, by the way, you just took fentanyl. And then it's like, I did, and I didn't die. Okay, give me more.
Yep. Yeah.
I think a lot of people.
I think that's probably a lot of cases is that we accidentally stumble across it, you know, and next thing you know, and I don't think that when you're shooting fentanyl, you've graduated to the big leagues. I mean, there's really no going up from there.
Right.
At least right now. I mean, there's these other drugs that are out now that are
crazy as hell, but nobody like does them regularly daily.
Yeah, right. Like the Trank, I think.
Trank is one.
Is that the one that eats your skin?
There was crocodile. Yeah. That's like
gosh.
That's like a gasoline drug.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild to me. But
that originated in Russia.
It did.
That's like Walking Dead stuff.
Right. That's just like, I mean, this is just talk about like how far removed for like the freaking like, you know, like the poppy fields and stuff like that in terms of now just people making it in their garage and stuff like that. And just.
Well, this goes back to my thoughts too. Like when you talk about like crocodile that literally would eat your skin due to like the number of chemicals it ate your bone and muscle and everything away. People walking around with these huge open wounds. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should Google it on YouTube or look it up on YouTube. There's documentaries on it, especially in Russia. The Vice one is the one I saw.
Yeah.
It was in West Palm for a little while, for a very short period in like 2012 or something like that. But going back to what you were talking about earlier, Tom, where like you find out your friend overdosed, so you go for that stuff. Like, I do think that the media kind of sensationalizes that a little bit. Where, I mean, there's some truth to that. Like, I want to know that that's the good dope for sure. But I always got to come back to this thought for myself where, like, I'm in the midst of my opiate addiction. I need to get better because I'm dope sick. I'm not taking the time to think shit through like, let me see where everyone. No, I'm just like, where's the next closest thing to get me well?
When you're progressing that much, yeah, I feel you.
I think a lot of that sensationalized because the fact of the matter is, alcoholic or drug addicts in this case with opiates don't overthink it like that.
Right?
You're like, I'm sick. I just need to be better. What do you have?
They're usually not in. Well, that's when it's at least from what I've seen and. Like progress to the point where they're not really don't have the privilege of choice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like in terms of it's like whatever fastest solution is the best solution.
And I knew too. Like, you know, again, none of this is black and white. It's opinion and theory based off experience. But like, if for instance I had heroin that I knew was like not as good. In subpar, I would load that spoon up bigger than I would if I got some really good stuff.
Yeah.
I'd load it up as much as I could, but I would in my mind's like, I'm like, dude, this stuff wasn't as good. Like, I'm dumping the whole damn bag in this time, you know? So it's a guessing game all the time.
That, and coupled with people have generally have main character syndrome, where they don't think anything's going to happen to them.
Main character, I like that.
You know, I don't think I didn't come up with that, but I'm using it in this. It's a thing where people think they're the star of their own movie, you know, and nothing could happen to them. But I'm relating that to drug addiction, because no one thinks it's going to happen to them. So in terms of the friend, you know what I mean? Like, oh, my friend might have just passed, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to, because I'm me.
Yeah, but that goes back to, for me, again, I don't think you're wrong whatsoever. Like, that's definitely a thing. But at the same time, it goes back to, like, I'm just not feeling well. How do I feel better?
Right. No, when you're in the grips of it, you're and I've been there in terms of when I was on Roxy's for whatever, because, again, this time me being clean isn't my first attempt at this. I told myself, for whatever reason, I looked at crack as the worst. That's when my life was at its worst, even though my life was shitty, no matter whatever I was on. But I was like, do not go, you're not smoking crack. Your life can be miserable, and you could be hooked on these Roxys and you can't function without them, but you're not going back to that. That was my hard line. And I remember this was before fentanyl though. So I was ripped off so many times, people saying this is don't worry, this will do the trick. And I didn't care. You know, that's why I know, by the way, for if I continued on my path, if I didn't get clean, I wouldn't be here right now.